Unbelievable. You've got to love your Monday nights. The Knights at home trying to break a 5-game losing streak. Here's how they line up. Darius Boyd is their fullback. The halves combination is Mullen and Roberts. No change to their forward pack with Mason and Snowden in the front row. The skipper is Danny Badiris. One change on the bench though. Chris Adams is out of the side. Zane Tedavano comes in and the coach is Wayne Bennett. For the Tigers, Tim Moulton is their fullback. Ashford and Marshall will once again be the halves combination. Robbie Farah returns after missing the game against the Roosters last Sunday, is also the skipper. No change to their bench. The coach is Tim Sheens. Benji Marshall standing by, so is Danny Badiris. And we're underway on Monday Night Football. The Knights running towards the southern end of Hunter Stadium. Their first use of it. And it's Willie Mason who tries to trample across the top of Chris Haines, and he plays it 5 inside his own 20. Here is Cade Snowden, who's been much criticised for his form so far in 2012. We heard Kurt Gidley in the pre-game show that he didn't think the front rowers' form had been as bad as made out by some in the last couple of months. Here is Costigan playing. They go to the short side. Mason again. Clean for work. Been averaging 100 metres, carrying the ball in his time since joining the Knights mid-season. Goes from Roberts, turns it back underneath for Snowden. An opening set of 6 here, all about the front rowers, the bookends. Mason and Snowden for Newcastle. Almost back at the halfway line. Comes back. The kick there from Roberts, hooks it away from Moulton, gets a friendly bounce. He's got Matt Utai back there with him. But he'll bring it forward and be stopped just outside the Tigers' 20. A good opening set. A couple of good early involvements from both Snowden and Mason.
Well, desperate for a good start to a side down on confidence like Newcastle. Need a great start. You see what sort they can throw up here in their defence because the attack was pretty good.
Aaron Woods bringing it back towards the Tigers' 40-metre line. The napping at marker. They were slow to move there. Mason was there and so was Snowden, and Farah went quickly. Marshall kicking it away from Darius Boyd down to Akuyuate. He gets an early touch the night after being dropped from the New South Wales team for Origin 3. See how he handles things tonight. Imagine he'd be fired up like rarely before to show those who've omitted him from the team that they've made the wrong call. Boyd to play it. Here is going on, flipping it extravagantly back across the other side of the play. The ball goes across to Tamana Tahu. Plays it 30 away from his own line. Roberts holds it up. Miscommunication there with Snowden. Mullen, though, ducking under a tackle. Was almost away, grabbed by the shorts, only just by Robbie Farah. There's Roberts coming across to Gagai, who was a try scorer in his first game with Newcastle 2 weeks ago. After making a shift from the Brisbane Broncos, the kick, a hurried one, played off the arm there by Utai, and he's fortunate to get a call that it went backwards and not down and a knock on.
Strange play there by Matt Utai because the ball popped up beautifully for him. It was there to be taken. Still, he opted to let it bounce off him and almost came off his hand, which would have been a big error.
Farah turning it back underneath here for Galloway to be stopped 10 short of the halfway line. Farah searching out, linking up with Marshall, a spread to the left-hand side. Ashford tucks it under the arm. He had Blair cutting back on the inside and he lost his footing on the angle. So Ashford will play it for Farah. Here is Blair now. Hasn't quite found the form that he used to occupy in his time with the Melbourne Storm. Now Marshall puts it high in the air. Some pressure here on board. It's a well-weighted kick. He'll take it a metre out from his line. And as a result, he's wrapped up there by Tim Moulton. Good kick by Marshall. Got them pinned inside their own 20 once again as Houston tries to work it off their own line. Badiris feeling for a penalty, not getting one. Roberts gives it off to Joel Edwards. They have a number of players in this Newcastle lineup and you could say hasn't quite found his previous form from seasons before this. Slightly down in 2012, and you could say that across the board pretty much about this Newcastle lineup. Boyd playing it. They're only just outside their 20. Here's Mullen going to the line, creating suddenly again. This time for Gagai. Grabbed by Aceford. The pass back on the inside is okay. And beautifully handled by Uwate. It comes back to him now. Down the short side. Gagai puts it on the toe. Farah is back there, shepherding the ball across the dead ball line.
Gee, promising stuff there from Newcastle and from important men too. You want to see Mullen running the footy he did. The Tigers get things underway pretty quickly, but Gagai, some great footwork, and what a take it was from Aquila Uwate down around his bootlaces.
A couple of impressive involvements so far from Mullen as Marshall has to go back. Doesn't stop them going for a further shift to this left-hand side. Lawrence is hit there pretty solidly in the ribs by Badiris. Third into the tackle now to Keary. Taken a while to get revved up in 2012, but shown some glimpses of his best form in recent times. Now Woods will play it just outside the Newcastle 40 on the last. Goes between the legs. Robbie Farah, the soccer fan, got nutmegged. And the ball goes down to Boyd, who will pick it up out of his own uprights, and they'll do it again from inside their own 20.
Yeah, good pressure again from the West Tigers. The kicking game is on target. Robbie Farah just dinking that one just short of the try line.
It's been a much improved facet of the Tigers game this year. Their kicking game and their options, the back end of their sets of 6. The past couple of seasons, it has been their Achilles heel.
Too long.
And Bo Ryan taking too long to get off the tackled player here, and Newcastle will grab the first penalty of the game.
Tyrone, keep behind it. Stay behind.
I'd like to think that Jared Mullen will stay as involved through the 80 minutes as he has been in the opening 6. It's been impressive, and there's a real worry for the Tigers' defence out here. Chris Lawrence. And also Blake Aceford.
Cade Snowden it is to play it. About 8 shot at the halfway line. The ball might have been touched there by Haines. Came back to Snowden. Let's play on Edwards. Gives it away to McManus. Comes away from the sideline, and he takes it back into Tigers territory. Some tackles up their sleeve. We'll ask a question of the Tigers defensive line, and Mason almost cracked them. Ryan and Marshall it was, forced to make the tackle. Under some duress, goes from Gagai across to Uwate. They tried to shut it down, didn't get there in time. Zakiri came searching in, didn't get to his target in time, and as a result, Uwate has it just outside the Tigers' 20. Gagai waits at dummy half. It comes across to Mullen. Here's Costigan, running hard and straight at Matthew Bell, who stops him. About 20 out in front of the uprights. Nice play. Mullen puts a kick in. Under pressure back there is Bo Ryan. He's never under pressure the way things are going for him at the moment.
No, you've got to keep those in the field of play. Benji Marshall was able to do it up the other end of the field. That's a free and easy run there for the West Tigers. Easy, cheap 20 metres. Mullen just getting the kick wrong. He'd continue to come this side, but Gagai, Mullen and Uwate could be a real handful for the Tigers tonight.
Certainly is with what they've shown so far. Here's Woods off the back of the offload there from Matt Bell. And they're back at the halfway line as Farah goes quickly from dummy half. He has some options and goes between everybody. Back on the inside, Lawrence gets away from Mullen, and the Tigers, against the run of play, will be first to score here tonight.
Brilliant stuff there, Robbie Farah. Out of dummy half, a quick play the ball. The Newcastle Knights just stood back and watched. He looked like he was going to pick up a couple of runners. Plenty of players in motion for the West Tigers, which fooled the Newcastle Knights. He slides between the defence. And here it is. This will give us a great view of what's happening there. Gagai goes to his man, falls for the dummy. Chris Houston not working hard enough for the inside. Not enough speed, Jared Mullen, to stop Chris Lawrence. And they open up the scoring here tonight. That's brilliant play from Robbie Farah.
That was beautiful to watch, wasn't it? The way it developed, the support runners from end on there as Farah arced towards the left-hand side, and men going to the outside, another runner coming back to the inside, and Chris Houston, as a result, dropped off on his slide towards Farah. It opened up the hole.
Just on the Knights kicking game, and no team in the competition has fewer repeat sets through line dropouts than the Newcastle Knights. just showed how important a good kicking game is as we watch Benji put this one through. Jared Mullen's kick finds the Tigers in goal, an easy mark. They work it off the 20-metre line and come up with the try off the back of it.
Good news on the scoreboard for the Tigers, but bad news as far as their fullback is concerned. Tim Moulton is walking down the side of the field behind the Tigers bench. Andy Raymond will bring us some news as soon as we have some on the condition of Tim Moulton, but it looks as though he's picked up a leg injury and is out of the game for the moment. That'll force a reshuffle, and Bo Ryan is back there at the moment.
They do have Joel ready in the lineup, so they've got an easy replacement, or ready-made replacement, with Bo Ryan shuffling back to fullback. Ready playing in the centres. The Tigers. Watch Tim Moulton talking to the training staff there. Andrew Leeds. Looks like just behind the knee there might be the issue.
We'll see what the word is from the Tigers bench in a moment. But as you said, Joel, ready by name and Moulton, out there playing at right centre with Bo Ryan slotting back into the full-back position, which he's filled already this season. Here is Farrick creating again, trying to on this left-hand side of the field. Blair playing it just outside the 30. A big set of 6 here for Newcastle. And he considered the first try. Their state of mind, you'd imagine they have to stop the Tigers right here. Here's Marshall, grubbering, going early. A chance for Takiri, who beats Uwate to the ball. Fijian flyer on Fijian flyer, and the Tigers make it 10 points to 0, and Marshall again supplies a try with his attacking kicking game.
Well, I don't think there's a team in the competition have scored more tries than the West Tigers through this play, and whether it's down the side of Takiri or through the season, it's been Bo Ryan on the other side. Both wingers been the recipients of some great kicks. That one just angling away. It made it almost impossible for Aquila Uwate, who did turn quickly. He was forced to come up, but just couldn't win the race to the football. Lottie Takiri doing a great job to pick it up on the run and get it down. And the Tigers, off the back of a penalty, go back to back.
He's dispensed with the beard he's been carrying in recent times. Something with his strength or his powers, and the kick to magnify the point from the sideline makes it 12 points to 0. The Tigers keeping pace with the clock at the moment. I think that ice pack right there tells us all we need to know about the condition of Tim Moulton. It looks to be perhaps a hamstring strain, low down, up just above the knee.
Yeah, he just seemed to be grabbing behind the knee, so it could be a knee problem. We'll wait until we get that confirmed by Andy Raymond. But Benji Marshall, 80% kicking this year. It's been terrific.
The Tigers work it away off their own line through Aaron Woods. Let's go downstairs to Andy for a report on Tim Moulton. Andy.
Dr. Smith, you are 100% correct. It is a hamstring strain, low down, just above the knee. Ice on already, won't be back.
That is a blow for the Tigers, but as we said, they carried Joel Reddy on their bench, and now an offload. The man who's gone back to replace Tim Moulton, Bo Ryan, has it here 8 short of the halfway line, and there's a real look about the Tigers here suddenly off the back of those 2 quick tries. The way they were working it forward before the kick found Uwate on the full. Tells you all you need to know about this contest. The Knights are under enormous pressure already.
Well, it's quick play the ball after quick play the ball. They've got the Knights on their heels. Robbie Farrick just didn't get the quick kick right. He had plenty of time, jumped out of dummy half, just mishit it, and he found Uwate on the full as Newcastle get it up just on the halfway.
Medeiros takes it away from the dummy half. He'll gain 10 or 12 before he's met there in a 2 or 3-man tackle. It's the fastest opening to a game the Tigers have had this season. The first time they've scored 12 points inside the opening 20 this season as Roberts goes towards the left-hand side. And he'll play it just outside the Tigers' 30. Here's Boyd getting to first receiver, putting a kick in and wearing a shot from Keith Galloway for his trouble. Ryan there to clean it up, and he'll play it 5 out from his own line. Marshall gets back to dummy half. Here's Utai to work it forward. The Knights need to muscle up here and put some real pressure on the Tigers to make it hard for them to work it off their own line and to come back at them with his next set of 6 in good field position, if possible. A tip on from Woods at the line from Lawrence. Farah now gets back to dummy half. This is play number 5. So Marshall kicks early in the tackle count over the head there of McManus. Wasn't a bad kick, and helped by the fact that McManus couldn't pick it up cleanly. And they'll come down to meet the winger just outside the Knights 30. Not a bad result for the Tigers, who were struggling in those early tackles. To Manatahu. Takes it up towards the halfway line. Joel Edwards coming quickly off the back of a good play the ball. And the legs tackle there from Matt Bell will mean another quickish play the ball. Roberts turning it back underneath there for Zeb Taylor. He's off to the UK Super League with the Catalan Dragons at the end of this season. Might have picked up a knock there. And his first carry of the game. Here's Costigan giving it to Taylor. Hold on once again quickly. He pops the ball but gives it straight to Lottie Takiri. He gives it back in turn for Chris Lawrence.
He took a bit of a risk there, Lottie Takiri. He was infield a long way. There was plenty of Newcastle Knights outside him, unmarked. Zeb Tay just couldn't find the right person. Well done, Lottie. He shut things down.
They're back at the 40 through Bo Ryan as Wood spins again. He's able to make the first tackle it, slightly miss with the contact. There's always a danger to spin an offload as a result. Here's Blair, met squarely and head on there by Badiris, and a good legs tackle. Farrell goes back to Marshall, who hooks it away from Boyd, or tries to at least. Didn't find the turf this time around. Boyd will bring it back at some speed. Good return has them almost back at the 30 before he's dragged back about 25 out from his own line.
There was some promise in that set by the Newcastle Knights. Neville Costigan's proved to be a bit of a handful when he's had the ball. An offload, and we've seen the Knights offload more in a few minutes than we have just about all season.
Here's Uarte playing it down the short side. It comes to Houston. He's almost through a gap there between the markers and the men either side of the play the ball as Mullen holds it up and gives it to Roberts. Some numbers out wide. It went to Edwards, and like Takiri on the other side of the field, Utai rather was up looking for a play and left the gap on the outside. Ryan, little head fake there as Roberts came down the field looking for a big tackle. And he's able to stay in the field of play as a result. He's ready being set upon. They've got them on their own line. 2 plays gone. Farrell gives it off to Woods. Tries to work it forward. That's a good run and an offload as well. Farrell, as a result, gives it back to Matt Utai. What a player Aaron Woods is becoming in the front row for the Tigers, and he's not too far away from making a start in representative football, the form he's in this season. Galloway playing. Farrell from the duck under the tackle there of Taylor and also Houston. And they'll kick it again from inside their own 40. It goes across to Marshall. No pressure off the back of a slow play the ball. I thought the Knights were keen to get up in the face of Benji Marshall, and as a result, Uarte it is, who retrieves the ball in his own in-goal area. Real lack of line speed there from the Knights.
Come on, there's got to be some movement there, Blake.
Well, they needed that, the Newcastle
on,
side. As we saw, both completion rates just about perfect. The Tigers 10 from 10, very impressive, but Newcastle not much worse. Newcastle now getting their second penalty of the game. This will give them time just to think about what they're going to do. The kicking game has been impressive from the West Tigers, finding plenty of space.
And Zeb Taylor take it forward and be stopped his own side of the halfway line. Change for Wayne Bennett. Cuthbertson going on. Here he is, getting an immediate touch. Right there by Hyington. Blair. Galloway tries to help out. Taking themselves back into an attacking situation, but they have really struggled for points this season. Badiris, good run of dummy half, picks up about 15 metres. Comes across to Roberts. Now Snowden. Mullen jamming in was Lawrence this time. Made a very solid tackle on the 5/8. 15 away. 2 plays left in this set. Badiris goes to Snowden. Dumps it out the back. Put down by Cuthbertson. It's play on. Now there's a whistle. It did look as though there was a knock on there by Cuthbertson, who just about gave himself up.
Okay.
Slight delay in the whistle being blown, but I think they got that one right.
Yeah, I don't think he was prepared for the pass. It was a good one from Cade Snowden. Real opportunity there for Newcastle to keep things going. And this is what's hurting them. Their inability to build any sort of pressure. That's why no one scored fewer tries than the Newcastle Knights as a side. For that reason, there is they don't build any sort of pressure. Can't get any repeat sets. It's a catch-22 situation for Newcastle.
There's Utai bouncing off the chest there of Joel Edwards, who was looking for a big shirt front tackle. He drove him sidewards and backwards as well. Now Woods gets them going in the right direction. They've used up 3 plays, and still the Tigers are just 15 away from their own line. So a shift to get themselves out of trouble. That's their pattern. Blair, it works again. He shows it to Dakiri. Comes towards Mullen, and again the Tigers happy to use the ball in their own 20 to help themselves up the field. Bell, Farah in the halves now suddenly, throwing a lovely ball to Reddy, who was grabbed twice. He'll get a bounce though. Nobody in support. He goes towards Roberts and Boyd, and they stop him 10 metres out from the Newcastle line. Here's Farah, could almost score himself. Cashmere on the last play was tackled short, but the Tigers will get a penalty.
Yeah, they've caught them offside. The quick play, the ball. Newcastle never getting back to their try line.
No, because he's close. He almost got there.
What a great set from the Tigers. The tackle 3 was still inside their own 20. Shift to the left, then to the right. Great play by Joel Reddy, the little grubber. Didn't have any support on the inside. He was looking for it. And then the quick play, the ball. Here's the ball by Robbie Farah. What a game he's having, the New South Wales number 9. Great job by Joel Reddy to get through those tackles. And then off the back of a quick play, the ball. The Knights never getting back on side. There's Danny Badiris coming from the side to make that tackle. He came from the Tigers' attacking line to make it. He's had a great start. Robbie Farah orchestrated and engineered the first try in his kicking game, and that ball there to Joel Reddy to put him on the outside. Terrific stuff.
It was world class, wasn't it? At another time the Tigers might have tapped it and gone pretty quickly here looking for 6 points. But they'll take the 2 on offer from beside the uprights. Marshall can add them, which he does, and make it 14-0 after 22 minutes. The Tigers in a real purple patch of form as far as games on the road. They've won 9 of their past 11, including the past 5 games straight away from home. That is their longest winning streak away from home in the club's history. And they're well on track to extend it to 6 in a row here tonight. The kickoff goes down the middle, right over the black dot it went, taken by Robbie Farah, who was able to give it off to Aaron Woods. Down Edwards and Tahu looking for a shot on him, but again, just slightly miss, and Farah it is, who works it up towards the 20. The veteran. They played about 30 metres out from the Tigers line. Ryan gets to dummy half and now scoop from dummy half. They don't do a lot of it at times, but tonight to help themselves out of trouble at this particular end. They've gone with the dummy half and one out running. After some spreads have been just terrific to watch on the previous sets of 6. They might get 6 more tackles here. They're waiting for a call, and Bo Ryan, a heads-up play there as he was going back for the football, took a look over his shoulder to see if there was a restarting of the tackle count, and there was, and he knew then he had time.
Yeah, the referees did warn him as he was running. You could hear the voices from the ref, so certainly helped him out, making a decision for him. We'll get another 6 tackles here.
Working it away from the sideline. Played about 12 on his own side of halfway. Farah to Bell. Looking pretty comfortable at the moment, the way the Tigers are controlling this game. The Knights had a chance at the other end of the field as Marshall tries to create another one right here for the Tigers. Hyington running into Snowden and Badiris, but he plays it quickly. Now Marshall. Grubbers one towards the corner. Boyd coming across, wants nothing to do with that. He'll watch it go into touch. And they are in command in every facet of the game at 14-0 with the Knights a scrum feed coming up, 10 out from their own line. There's the kick again. Boy, no wonder Zeb Taylor was getting some attention from the trainers after that shot, and Benji even said, "Are you okay?"
Well, I'm surprised they got 6 to go. He drove it into his head. Completion rates again, the Tigers perfect. And we spoke about Newcastle Knights needing to get off to a good start. They haven't. I just wonder what that does to their confidence. Pretty important 15 minutes before half-time. Not to let the Tigers score again.
They made a mistake off the back of the scrum win. It'll be a knock-on against the Knights.
Knights first in the Tigers. Knights first in the Tigers. I can't disappear, mate.
Yes, that should be our fault.
Can't disappear.
Well, Darius Boyd there saying that the referee got in the road.
Like, well, I can't disappear. I'm standing there. I just stay still, and he just threw it at me.
Take a look at it again here as they go to the blind side. Gerard Sutton getting mixed up there with the pass from Tyrone Roberts. It was touched forward by James McManus despite facing his own goal line. It's a tough situation, but as he said, can't disappear.
Well, the ball was always slightly behind McManus, but the fact that it disappeared from sight, and it would have just for a moment here now. Cashmere and Snowden.
Trading punches, and Snowden's keen, smiling like a Cheshire cat, saying, "Let's go, Ray." Tell you what, got to pick your mark, haven't you, Ray Cashmere?
Take it back.
Looks like he could throw them all night.
Jenny, take him back there and we'll do it. Just take it back. Back there, fellas. Away you go. Yeah.
The boys might be disappearing for a little cool-down period coming up here, perhaps.
No, just...
Mate, you're going in and you got the feed. You've gone first with a push and carrying on. The penalties against you. Penalties against him, Robbie. Bit of discipline, right? Cool it down. Cade? And that's why you're getting the penalty. But don't react and do anything that's going to get you set out.
Well, they have left them on the field, and the penalty against the Tigers. Tim Sheens will be seething about giving away possession with a scrum feed coming up 10 metres out from the opposition line. Here it is again, a little bit of...
Well, there's a push from Cashmere, and that's what he's been penalised for. And let's see if the Knights can get this one right. Another restart.
Let's see if it's Snowden versus Cashmere. The first few plays in this set of 6. Cashmere is at mark. Here is Snowden coming across. Cashmere got there late. And they'll play it 6 metres on their own side of halfway. But Badiris coming across to Mullen, who has created a couple of chances for them. And this region on the field as well, around about the halfway line. Gagai will play it. But Badiris going across to Cuthbertson. Plenty of room to move there before he got to Aaron Woods. No line speed at all from the Tigers on that particular play. Now it comes back to the middle. Perhaps they should have gone wider because there wasn't much happening there with the Tigers really comfortably wrapping up Snowden. Now they'll take him to the ground as well and make it a slow old play. The ball. Mullen put it up in the air. Some pressure here on Takiri and also Ryan. Takiri going for it. Couldn't come down with it. There'll be a knock on both ways.
First one Tigers, second one Newcastle.
On to one of the Knights.
2 knock-ons.
The Knights will get the scrum feed.
2 knock-ons.
And a chance to pick up at least 4 points in this next set of 6.
They want to put something on too to get themselves across the line. At worst, get a repeat set. They haven't been down this end very often. I've been able to hang on to the ball and put any pressure on the Tigers.
Heads in.
Just watch the props.
See if the big fellas can get through this one without coming to grips with each other and beyond.
Hey! Get your heads in. Hold now, go. Out.
They can, but only just to get the impression. Now Boyd goes across to Tahu. A chance for McManus up against the sideline, and Utai did well not to drag him into touch, otherwise it would have been a penalty against the Tigers. It goes back to Roberts. What have they got to offer? A team that has really struggled for points in 2012. Here they are, 10 metres out. Boyd putting it back for Teo, who got away from Haines. Still going with a scrambled well, Wes. And they'll force a play the ball a couple of metres out from the line. But Dearest feeds it back. Roberts, Snowden, here's Boyd. Plays in motion on his outside. Uate has a chance. Going for the corner. He put the ball down as well. They'll want to check it, but it looks as though he may have scored.
Look at grounding, touchline.
I think you're right, Was. I think he was strong enough to hold off the challenge from Benji Marshall and force the ball before he was pushed into touch. Nice long ball there from Darius Boyd. He's mid-air. I'm going to say the ball doesn't spin back like that unless his hand runs down the back of the football. That means that he's still got his fingers on it when he puts it on the ground.
And I only have a very small amount of doubt that he didn't have a finger on it. I'm going to say it's green lights.
We expect it to be that.
And we do get the benefit of the doubt for the Newcastle Knights, and Aquila Uate trying to bounce back from the disappointment of being dropped from the New South Wales team for Origin 3. Now Roberts moving from the touchline, hooking it back across the face of the uprights, but they're on the board at least. The Tigers' lead has been cut to 10. And Aku Uate has scored 20 tries in his last 20 games and 17 tries in 15 games here at Hunter Stadium.
And it was the quality of the ball there from Darius Boyd. Not if Kiri's been able to come in field and shut things down so far, but not that time.
The kickoff brought back by Chris Houston. Isn't a deep one from the Tigers. And we'll play it here just outside the Knights 20, but Dearest goes across to Uate. See if they can keep the momentum going. Billy Mason trying to keep it going. Almost rolling over the top there of Chris Haines, and he's had to contend with Mason a few times here tonight. The kick is a good one from Mullen, away from Ryan. Will it get to the dead ball line? Yes, it will. It's a tough break, the Newcastle Knights, because the kick was almost perfect.
Well, it wasn't. It was a kick on tackle 3. Obviously planned. They wanted to get it out of there before they made a mistake. It was a couple of good hit-ups that led to the kick. They desperately needed it to pull up the Indian goal. So allowed the Tigers to work it away.
Here's Haines and trying to step in traffic. It's Farah. Goes to Kashmir. Going towards Cuthbertson and also Taya. We're back in Newcastle territory. Farah surges out towards the left-hand side once again. Galloway, a good tackle there by Badiris, whose defensive work has been terrific again tonight. Here's a kick by Marshall. Finds the turf between McManus and Boyd. And the winger has some room to move before he comes back, and is wrapped up there by Matt Utah.
Yeah, set play there, Bo Ryan down the middle of the field. Benji Marshall chipping for him, but James McManus dropped back nicely and read things well.
Dearest going from dummy half. And the option of playing Chris Adams tonight, the Newcastle Knights. Wayne Bennett has elected to include Zane Tedovano on his bench in place of Adams, and we'll wait and see if that means Badiris is playing the entire 80 minutes here this evening. Mullen goes across to Gagai, under pressure there from Takiri. Uate had the ball tipped out there by Blake Ashford. It comes back to Newcastle, and they have 6 more tackles. Houston playing it. Mason, the flow of possession really going the Knights' way at the moment. They have 4 points. Can they grab some more as a result? Here's Roberts stepping. He'll open something up. Nothing did for him. He's just outside the Tigers' 40. Badiris goes to Taylor, running towards Bell and also Galloway. Here's Mullen, first receiver on that left-hand side, tipped on by Boyd. What a play. That was Tahu, unstoppable on the angle. What a run by Tamana Tahu. Only matched by the tip-on pass from Darius Boyd, who slapped it as it came to him from Jared Mullen. And it hit this man on the fly, and there was no way they were going to pull him up.
No, required a quick one there from Darius Boyd. Mullen goes to the line. Boyd under some pressure from Reddy, tips it on, finds Tamana Tahu hitting the ball at speed, cuts back on the angle. Found some lazy defence from the Tigers, not pushing hard. Steps there, takes 3 of them out of play immediately. Ray Cashmere lunging desperately, couldn't get hold of him. The Knights, desperate to score their second try. They do so with only 6 minutes or 6 and a bit minutes remaining before half-time. Not giving it back to the Tigers.
Roberts converts from right in front to make it a 4-point game with 6 remaining in this first half. And Tamana Tahu grabs just the second try of his 2012 season. Crowd here built up since the kickoff. Pretty happy about seeing this comeback, and Tim Sheens would be concerned with the Tigers. The first time that they've had a flow of possession go against them in the game, they've cracked twice in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. Here is Bell trying to make a statement, trying to fire them up defensively with a big shot on Uwate off the back of the kickoff. Mason, who's been good again here tonight. 7 carries already, a dozen tackles to go with it, as Boyd gets the first receiver. A little push on pass there for Houston to work it across the 30-metre line. Good meters here, becoming a lot easier for the Newcastle Knights suddenly. Huffleton being pushed back to his own 40-metre line, but they've done well to bring it back to this part of the field. Boy, but Dearest, another of those no-look passes across the face of the play. The ball now, Edwards, he pushes one out the back, goes to McManus, who winds up and saw it gap, and he was almost through it as well. Now Badiris puts it off to Mullen. Takes it away here from Bo Ryan. And the Tigers look up and see a bunch of blue and red jumpers pouring down the field. Badiris is there to finish off the tackle as well. They've got Ryan pegged inside their own 10, and Takiri gets rocked by Joel Edwards. He puts it down, and the Knights have a chance in this next set of six to take the lead. What a shot by Edwards, who made his name last season with his defence, and he pulls off a big one right here. Uwate has it, 10 metres out from the west line. We'll play it for Gagai. Mason taking it forward. Trying to get the arm free was Mason. He hung on to it eventually.
He's done a great job just to hang on to that ball. Had it cocked for a pass.
Badiris goes in behind the decoy runner. Mullen gives it to Taylor. Good defence. Galloway up in the face of the back rower, and he really stunned him as well. 3 plays gone. Badiris goes across to Mullen. Here's Boyd. Tahu again. Tahu has a double. And the Knights suddenly are carving them apart. It's 14 points all with a kick to come to put Newcastle in the lead. It's remarkable.
And that combination again, Darius Boyd onto Tamana Tahu. He didn't have to tip this one on. He got on the outside of his defender, and here's the tackle by Joel Edwards. Rocked Lottie Takiri. Never really had a grasp on the ball. They had a quick shift out to the right because Takiri was struggling to get back in the line. It didn't eventuate, but then Darius Boyd just got on the outside of his man Benji Marshall. Joel Reddy forced to come in, which left the hole there for Tamana Tahu. Just undecided there, Joel Reddy. Left his man Tamana Tahu. And the combination of Boyd and Tahu strikes again. We weren't thinking that, and that man wasn't thinking that 25 minutes into the match.
Now, 8 minutes ago, it was 14-0. The kick. There's a good one. Why wouldn't you be smiling, Tyrone Roberts? 16-14. The Knights lead the Tigers. That scenario was unthinkable barely 10 minutes ago. But here they are, 3 tries. Uwate, Tahu has a double in the space of 4 minutes itself. Now Benji Marshall in the restarts from the halfway line. It's Cuthbertson who'll bring it out for Newcastle. It might be important that they have the lead at the break because they are yet to win when trailing or level at half-time. In 2012, Mason just running through a Kashmir tackle. The forward pack is fired up, taking plenty of metres out of the Tigers' defensive line from their own end. They're doing what they haven't been able to do at the other end, which is finish off chances. Uwate working it back towards the halfway line. A chance here to put some real pressure on the Tigers. These last couple of plays, they'll kick it in fact. 1 tackle early. Ryan will be there. He'll give it to Takiri. Desperate to hang on to this one, but Dearest was down there again also, looking for a shot. He's been leading the chase down the middle of the field. This comeback by the Newcastle Knights, and now Lawrence is picked up by Taya and also Mullen. And Marshall to the middle to give it to Kashmir. The Tigers will be happy to get through these next couple of plays and just get to the sheds and take stock of what has happened in the final 10 minutes of this first half. Here is Ashford. Poised for a pass there, hung on to it, and the good thing as well, Utah comes back to Haines and he'll give it to Marshall. They'll spread it. The ball goes to ground. They've lost the plot suddenly, the Tigers. Nobody knows what's happening in those last few plays. Ryan is tackled with it. And after being booed from the field, after being beaten by the Raiders here 2 weeks ago, it'll be a vastly different scenario for the Knights as they head back to the sheds, leading the Tigers here 16 points to 14. Tyrone Roberts gets us back underway. The Knights with a 2-point lead against the red-hot favourites coming into this one, the Tigers, searching for their 9th win of the season. The Knights looking for win number 5 and trying to break a 5-game losing streak. Farah working out a dummy half.
Never got there, boys. If the first break's not there, you can't be onside.
He realised that and worked for the penalty. When he wasn't able to break the tackle, the whistle was blown.
Yeah, not many better at it than Robbie Farah identifying someone lazy around the ruck and earning his side a penalty.
It was very much a Farah-led charge at the opening 15 to 20 minutes of the game for the Tigers. We'll see if he gets them back on track at the beginning of this second half. They get a chance immediately here to put some pressure on the Newcastle line. Kashmir will play it outside the Newcastle 40. Farah showing it, giving it to Blair on the second occasion. And they'll play it about 35 away. Here's Galloway. As Bell coming forward with him. Willie Mason. That was terrific once again. And this is 7th game back in the NRL. Robbie Farah has to hurdle Mason to get to the ball. Now Marshall, a kick that goes off Roberts, and pressure there on Boyd. And luckily for him, it sat down in time before it ricocheted into the in-goal area. Otherwise, it was going to be very tough to bring it back.
He got the bounce. Look, if that didn't hit a Newcastle player, I think that kick goes over the sideline or goes dead. Benji Marshall looked like he's absolutely nailed that one.
Here we go to the kick, as they have done so many times in 2012, the Tigers. And already tonight, a try for Lottie Takiri off the back of a Marshall kick. Cuthbertson works it up to the 30-metre line. 3-man Tigers tackle. This will be the last for the Knights. Mullen's under pressure. Bill came out of the line. They have to run it as a result. Lawrence did well off the legs of Boyd. Still a chance for the Knights to get themselves out of trouble, and they do that through Dane Gagai, and the kick isn't a bad one. It finds the touchline, 15 out from the Tigers line.
Well, Matt Bell putting some pressure on Jared Mullen. A dangerous situation there with Bell out of the line on his own. He was easy pickings for Mullen, who beat him and then gave the ball on the outside. Gagai ended up getting a kick to it at the back end. But Chris Lawrence, that was a huge tackle by Lawrence, because if Boyd wasn't shut down, very dangerous situation as we have a look at those that are doing all the work, Hyington and Matt Bell for the West Tigers, and there's a huge discrepancy in terms of tackles. West Tigers 25 tackles, more than the Newcastle Knights.
The Tigers win the scrum. Keary, who made proved to be a costly error at the back end of the first half, takes the tackle there. Chris Lawrence it is. He'll play a 25 short of the halfway line. Farah comes across to Galloway. Not spread. Marshall gives it to Waishford. Haington back on the angle. Angle tap there. Good work by Cuthbertson. Coming out towards the left. Had to go to his right to make a tackle. Pulled off a good one. Ryan gets a ball. Back on the inside here from Marshall. An immediate call of forward from the touch judge.
We all called it.
And the Tigers trying to be creative to work it away from their own end. It can be a double-edged sword, and it proves to be on this occasion.
Well, here's the ball. Benji is overreading things. I'll tell you what, we're right in line with it. I thought it was pretty much square, that ball. I don't know if it went forward. And there's the hit-ups. Duarte, after being left out of the New South Wales side, we knew he'd have a big one. One of the busiest in terms of carting the ball forward. Great opportunity here for Newcastle early in the second half.
One of the few times this season they had chances at the back end of the first half. They were able to finish them off. Taking another one here as Roberts almost went past Matt Bell. He stopped him just outside the Tigers 20, but Dearest goes to Mason. Galloway coming up. His hands full, so he gets some help from Kashmir. And he'll play it eventually, still just inside the Tigers 20. Play number 5 as it comes to Boyd. Looking for Tahu once again. Turning back the clock tonight is Tamana Tahu. A hat-trick for the Newcastle Knights. And at the moment, the Tigers have no answers to the Newcastle attack inside their own 20.
Well, they make the Tigers pay for another error. The forward pass from Benji Marshall to Bo Ryan, giving the Knights a great start to their set, a scrum on 40. And then Darius Boyd just able to get outside again, Benji Marshall. Very similar to the try that we saw in the first half. The second man play, they've had success tonight and just caught Joel Reddy in two minds again. Forced to come in on Darius Boyd when he should have been staying out. No communication there between Benji Marshall and Joel Reddy. Try number 3 and try number 3 for that man Tahu, but try number 4, try assist for Darius Boyd. Well, not good signs for the Tigers. Really Newcastle's first opportunity in the second half. And it's the missed tackle count. There's a real concern.
The kick, hooking back, it's got the legs as well. Tyrone Roberts extends the lead for the Knights and makes it 8 at 22 points to 14. And there's been all this talk about the Queensland fullback spot. Perhaps Darius Boyd just throwing his hand up and saying, hey, don't forget about me, fellas. This number 1 position, not too shabbily, you know. The kickoff goes down to the man in question, Boyd, who grabs it. Hands it off for Cuthbertson, who runs back towards Kashmir. And they'll stop him just outside the Knights 10. The Tigers have got a real game on their hands now, haven't they? Hottest favourites coming here tonight. Now Mason breathing a bit of fire himself, taking it up towards the 30. He really has the crowd going. Getting up, he's enjoying his football. Talking to the Tigers tacklers. Searching for a contract for 2013, like many of his teammates, in fact, here in Newcastle. Allen's kick. No real pressure on him. Comes from inside the 40-metre line. It's a good one as well. Things happening for the Knights in this second half as Ryan works it forward. They'll pick him up. Oh, he kicked the ball away there for Matt Utai, who stands there, desperate to stay on his feet, but eventually they drag him to ground.
Well, he did well there, Utai. I don't know if he was expecting one out there from Bo Ryan. Great chase from Newcastle. Aren't they up now?
Here's Kashmir. Searching for him, looking for a shot was Edwards. Galloway works it up towards Taya and Badiris. 4 plays gone for the Tigers. Robbie Farah trying to keep a cool head at dummy half. Goes to Marshall. Here it comes again. He holds it up and gives a short ball there for Blair. They were set to the left-hand side. Lawrence and Takiri were waiting for it. Now, Badiris, rather, Farah got caught, and then Ryan had to give it off to Marshall. The kick finds Darius Boyd inside his own 20. Comes across to link up potentially with McManus. He goes past him though. Now he's in trouble. And he goes to ground, realising Reddy was about to drag him into touch. Here's Tahu, the trainer, getting caught up in the middle of the play there for Newcastle.
They're on the field too often, aren't they, trainers?
When you get out there to see if anybody wanted a drink, nobody wants a drink. There's got time for a drink at the moment for the Knights, the way they're working it up the field again. Edwards goes to Teo, steps away from Galloway, but Badiris keeping it alive. Cuthbertson, look at them play. Suddenly they're like the Bulldogs. Tahu spins away from Marshall's attempted tackle, straightens and was almost through them again. He might have 4 or 5 in mind before this one is done. But Badiris runs a long way from dummy half. Goes across to Mullen, who kicks. They didn't need that at that point in time, did they? They were set to the right-hand side, and Iwate must have been screaming for it.
Oh, the Tigers will be thankful for that. On the back foot, and if there's a side that can offer the opposition plenty of chances, it is the West Tigers. Can sometimes be flimsy in defence, and they certainly are at the moment. Not handling this period, either the 15 minutes before half-time, playing without the footy. They need to get through a set.
Here's Haines almost back at the halfway line. Farah going across them, giving it to Blair. Stuttering run of his as he comes to Cuthbertson and Houston. Taylor was underneath. He's at the 40 when he plays it. Back end of this set for the Tigers. Galloway just punches it forward. Farah looking for an option, finds Marshall. They'll put it up in the air. Not a bad one either, coming down in front of the uprights. Boyd standing underneath it, making a good catch. Lawrence was there, so was Ryan, but Boyd came up with it.
Well, he's just looking like a different player, Darius Boyd. The game against Canberra, he was shaky under the high ball, and that was a terrific take. Plenty of Tigers coming through. Iwate trying to get through some tackles to no avail. Good tackle there by Blair.
Now Houston looking it forward just beyond 30-metre line. Playing it for Badiris. He's turned the clock back himself tonight to something like his old self. A little spark out of dummy half and taking them on a lot more from that position that he has done so far this season for the most part. The kick again will be too big. Ryan will bring it back out to the 20, and the Tigers will do it over once again. Don't forget, this is the Harvey Norman Women in League round. For more information, go to NRL.com. You can also go to NRLauctions.com because pink boots, signed pink balls, and also jerseys will be auctioned there the next 4 or 5 days up until June 29. You have to bid on various items at NRLauctions.com. Haines and bringing it back to almost the halfway line, playing it for Ryan. Farah going past Galloway. Here is Marshall. Lawrence on his outside. It goes to Aishwardoe instead on the outside, but picked off in a lovely tackle there by Dane Gagai. Here's Takiri, double pumped it. Put on a terrible ball there off the shins of one of his teammates, and again they turn it over to the Knights in good field position.
Yeah, probably not a play that the winger should be doing coming out of dummy half. Let's see, well, never gave his captain a chance. Better off just tucking that one under his arm and taking it to centre field, getting themselves in a position for their last play.
What do you say about wingers and dummy half?
Shouldn't pass the ball, wingers, should they? Really? Certainly not a trick play like that.
It's the Brandy rule. Wingers barred from passing the ball from dummy half. I'm going to go with it after that one as well. Here is Tay. Takes it inside the 40. He's about an offload. Badiris showing to be as crafty as he possibly can out of dummy half tonight. They're desperate to keep the ball alive at the moment here, the Knights. Another one forced out the back. It worked out okay, though, for them, for Edwards to play it. Now Roberts goes to Snowden. They were flat in the middle of the field there. Just can't quite get a backline movement going towards that right-hand side, towards Gagai and Duarte. Slow play the ball. McKinnon is out there, stepping past Galloway, going to Ryan, and Farah helps out and makes a try-saving tackle. 8 metres away, Badiris, Mullen, rubbering. It goes past Utai, Ryan.
20.
Cucumber cool to let it go as well. And the Tigers once more have the optional restart at the 20, but the Knights going very close to putting a big scoreline in this game.
Yeah, nice bust there by McKinnon to put them in place. And they were queuing up out here on the left-hand side. We had Boyd, Tahu, Roberts was out here too, just didn't get the kick right, Jared Mullen.
Aaron Woods is back out there now for the Tigers. Keith Galloway remains on the field. He was beaten point blank by McKinnon, who helps make the tackle on him. Utai charges it up to the halfway line. Used up 3 plays in getting there. Something at the moment, the Tigers, to steady the ship. Here's Hyington out the back going to Bo Ryan. Nice defence staying alive on the play, and Roberts it is who makes the tackle. Farah again out towards the left. That's been the pattern. Marshall almost in behind one of his teammates. Ben Murdoch-Masila is out there now, and Marshall didn't know whether to run, whether to pass. He knew he probably couldn't run because it would have been an obstruction play, and in the end they've coughed it up once more.
Yeah, not the first time either. Dane Gagai shutting things down there, just getting into the West Tigers attack, forcing Benji Marshall. You could see that there was space on the outside. Gagai up quick and into the Tigers attacking line. Just forced Benji to go behind Murdoch-Masila first and then really delayed his pass. Another Tigers error.
Gutherson works it forward just outside the Tigers 40. Here's Houston off the back of the Mullen ball. Going inside the 30 of the Tigers. Farah and Woods grabbing him. Kick up, coming up with some pressure on it in a moment. Mullen going to the line though instead. Little in and away on Murdoch-Masila, who did well to stay with him. Now Badiris comes across to Roberts. Here's the grubber. Better wait this time. Reddy has to play it. They won't bring it back. Newcastle have got him trapped. It'll be a goal line dropout. In the context of this game, a massive set of 6 coming up defensively for the Tigers.
Nicely weighted there by Darius Boyd. It's amazing what an 8-point lead will do to enthusiasm. The Knights' kick chase has been absolutely outstanding in this second half. Danny Badiris has led the way along with Tahu there, McKinnon. Some inspirational stuff from Danny Badiris. There's the offload. Not often that you see Newcastle in the lead in terms of offloads in a game.
Duarte bringing it back and running towards Woods and also Farah. He was a handful right there. That's more like the old Duarte. He plays it just outside the 20. Snowden running towards Reddy. Hyington involved and eventually with the help of Ashford. They take him to ground just outside the Tigers 10. Badiris to Roberts. There's a real look about Newcastle at the moment. Roberts staying alive, taken to ground there by Ashford. And they've used up 3 plays. Here's Snowden going out the back to Boyd, looking for another try. He went in behind McKinnon, and he has to get himself up, which is what he does. Otherwise, it was going to be an old shepherd or an obstruction, as we now call it. Badiris. He goes to Mullen. A good ball. Houston on the charge. They're in again. They can't stop them at the moment. It is all Newcastle. And they're well on their way to breaking the 5-game losing streak now at 26-14.
He's a great hole runner, Chris Houston. We haven't seen enough of it this year. Just gets on the inside of Benji Marshall, drifts across, then puts the right foot step, cuts back him on the inside of Benji, who just got himself and got his body in a poor position to make the tackle. I said in the first half, no side that had fewer or forced fewer line dropouts than Newcastle coming into tonight's game. They get their first of the night. Nice little kick by Boyd. Allows them to build some pressure, and they score points off the back of it. And they did have that look about them. The Tigers' defence now, they've missed 31 tackles, up to Newcastle's 11. We just had a feeling that at some stage through that set of 6, they were going to run a try in.
This much maligned Newcastle attack has done a great job of picking out that man on screen, Benji Marshall, tonight on the left-hand side and also the right-hand side. Defending on the left-hand side on that particular set of 6. And they went to him with Houston. And so many of these Knights players have been below their best in 2012. It's clicking for them off the back of the bye. Roberts. His kick is a good one. 28 points to 14. 28 straight points to the Newcastle Knights after they were down 14-0 at the 28-minute mark before they scored their first try.
Yeah, look, and they are getting results from things that haven't worked this year. The second man play has looked old and tired from the Newcastle side, but they've had plenty of success doing that tonight. But they've obviously thought a fair bit about their game and just how they approach this one. There's been more risk taken in terms of ball movement and keeping it alive. We've worked the Tigers' defence over.
Change for the Tigers. Asadi Youssefa going onto the field. Robbie Farah remains on the field though. And in all the attack they can get at the moment. And we saw what they did without Robbie Farah last Sunday afternoon against the Roosters. And they scored a hat-trick of tries in a short space of time to give themselves a chance in that game at Leichhardt. And still 20 minutes remaining here and 14 the difference. Nothing done with this result as yet. The kick skates past Utah and eventually they'll find the dead ball line. That's happened a few times in this second half, but they won't mind that. 14-point lead, and they're going to send
back across the line.
Utah back. Well, this I will never ever work out. Why does the team with the ball get a second chance to do it again when they've done it incorrectly, when if the Knights were offside at the play, they would be penalised?
If you've got a player in front of you and you take the tap, well, that's not a let's have another crack at it. That is, sorry, boys, you got that one wrong.
Somebody, Bill Harrigan, Stuart Raper, is going to have to explain to us why the offensive side in that situation gets a second crack at it when a player is offside. You're either onside or you're offside. You don't get to go over any other situation in the game. The Tigers work it into Knights territory for the moment. Here's Fat going to the left-hand side, and it's Woods who is stopping. Good tackle there by Badiris. He's been terrific defensively here tonight. Now Marshall putting his step on. He's been happy to kick and pass for the most part tonight. And it's urgent at the moment. Comes from Youssefa across to Robbie Farah. He puts it in the air. Boyd underneath it in a contest there with Reddy. He lost it backwards. It's still there now. Newcastle are offside.
First one, Tigers.
And they're going to say the first knock-on was in fact from Reddy.
Yeah, interesting and hard to tell really who knocked that on first, because both players went up and seemed to have a grab at the football.
Hold! Go, Kate!
Joel Reddy, the Tigers needed a result out of that, at least another set of 6.
Good run by McKinnon. Now some pressure there with Youssefa and Lawrence coming out of the line at him. Now Snowden. Tigers get a chance. The kick can't turn it into a repeat set of 6, and off the back of it, absorbing the pressure, but Badiris again goes from dummy half. Cuthbertson, the back of that good run, flings it out the back. Comes to Darius Boyd. He turns Mullen underneath him into a hole. He goes towards Ryan, who makes a try saver. 10 metres out. Fast play of the ball coming. There might be 10 in the bin coming.
Professional foul. 10 minutes.
He's gone. Bo Ryan gone after making the tackle on Jared Mullen. Tigers defence shot. You can't argue with the decision. Quick play, the ball could have led to anything there from Newcastle after Darius Boyd. An innocuous inside ball to Jared Mullen, and just no reaction from the Tigers defence. He stops pushing across Keith Galloway, and just no match for Jared Mullen. Steps straight into Bo Ryan. Mullen's up ready to play the football. Ryan will not let go.
And all the Knights threw their hands up saying that'll be 10, sir. And they got the call they wanted from the referee, Bo Ryan. Makes the long march back to the Tigers dressing room. You have the option of looking for 6 points, the Knights, and they say, we'll take the 2 and make this a 16-point game. Interesting call.
Yeah, you'd think that the mood they're in and the way they get the Tigers down to 12 men, they looked like scoring the last time they got a set of 6 in a repeat set. I would have said the same thing too. They really had a chance to put this one to bed with 6 points. I'll offer the Tigers a slim hope, but they'll be down to 12 men not up until about the 74th minute.
Roberts makes no mistake. He struck them well for the most part tonight. 30 points to 14. The Knights lead the Tigers, who are down to 12. He's not quite ashen-faced, but excuse him if he was, Tim Sheens, given what he's seen tonight. In the last half an hour plus of actual game time in this one. They were doing it in a canter, perhaps. On reflection, they were doing it a little bit too easily and just took the foot off the pedal. Now Reddy is up contesting another kick, and they're going to say once again, for the second time in a row, it came off him and went forward, and it will be Newcastle who get possession.
Couple of close calls. You can't argue with it. Joel Reddy seemed to, Gagai was in and around there, but Joel Reddy seemed to get his hands to the ball first, and there's the split of possession. Really, for the final 15 minutes of that first half, it was like an 80-20 split. Things have improved slightly for the Tigers, but have a look at that. Newcastle absolutely perfect. The opening 25 minutes of this second half, the Tigers in all sorts of trouble.
Maderas gives it off to Snowden. It's just the second time this season the Knights have scored 30 points or more. The previous time was a Monday night football win against the Panthers. The last time they won, in fact, back in round 8. And the flow of possession will just continue for the Knights here. Another penalty. Second half possession rate. It's remarkable this far into a half of football, more than 25 minutes now, and they've had almost 70% of the ball. Here's Snowden. As good as the Tigers are, a set of 6 here from close range for the Knights to put West to bed tonight. Boyd going towards Marshall. Boyd, he's got his hands full on both edges. Benji Marshall tonight. Boyd, he just grabbed him there by a fingernail. Iwata coming forward for a carry. The old skip as well, throwing that in for good measure. Running towards Blair and also Galloway. They took an age to get off him. It could have easily been another penalty. Cuthbertson for Snowden, who will back his way to the line. And they will stop him half a metre out. 2 plays left. From on top of the line, but Dearest going for it and is stopped by Murdoch-Masila and also Farrett. Snowden feeds it back for Roberts. He grubbers. Marshall got there, trying to keep it in play. Was able somehow to dive away from the line and keep possession for the West Tigers as Reddy works it away. He gives it to Lawrence. Well, it will be the hot potato Tigers at their best. They're going to get themselves out of this one, and they get a penalty to help the cause.
This will give them an opportunity. Benji Marshall looking for touch around halfway. He's done better than that. That's a big kick from Benji, no, it is halfway. Getting the lines mixed up here at a stadium.
See if the Tigers get their lines right in this next set of 6. Well, just outside the 40, Youssefa at dummy half. Farah still in the halves on this right-hand side of the field. Ashford playing at right centre at the moment with Utai on his outside. They've got attacking options all over the place, but can they use them? Here's Galloway. He's lost the ball here in the tackle. It's going to go against the Tigers. It wasn't stripped, they'll say.
I called 3, mate. Oh, who's over there? I called 3.
Well, on the wrong side of a possession swing, as the Tigers have been right from about the 25-minute mark in that first half, they need a couple of things to have gone their way, and all the calls going against them. We're not saying they're wrong, but no luck there. Keith Galloway having the ball forced free. A couple of calls against Joel Reddy.
Outside.
They just haven't been able to mount any time down this end of the field.
No, I'll get out of the way. Hold it.
Vadiris from the back of the scrum. Gives it to McManus. And the Knights just on 11 minutes to hang on here. Doing it. They've really done it so far this season. 16-point lead. Gagai. Play it here for Boyd to go from dummy half. Runs towards Youssefa, who was slapping at the ball, trying to knock it away before the second man got involved in the tackle. Here's Mullen, just outside the 40, kicking it away from Reddy at fullback. A bit of chase on here. Uwate is coming quickly, and a chance to stop him. And we'll tackle him again. And went within an ace, trapping Reddy in the in-goal area.
Well, great chase there from Mark Kewen. They're still trying to get back on side the West Tigers. Great shot there. Joel Edwards, he's pulled off a couple tonight. They drive him back inside the 10-metre mark.
Lawrence playing it. A long ball from Youssefa. Goes across. Farah going to stay alive with it. Got away from Tahu. Now he pops the ball out the back to Utai. Grabbed though by Tahu and Mullen. And the Knights have done well not to drop off. And they've got the player tackled. Nobody going back to take their place in the defensive line until they know the man is on the ground. Marshall, 20 metres out from his own line, chipping it over the top. There are plenty of jumpers back there, though, for Newcastle. Roberts wins the race to the ball, and he has it here at the halfway line.
He shaped for a long one there, Benji, and thought, we need something. Went for the short kick, but Roberts read it well. Manus to settle things down for Newcastle, find themselves back in Tiger territory.
McKinnon works it forward. Here's Cuthbertson, always keen for an offload. Picking one out the back for McKinnon. Visions of linking up there with Costigan as well. 4 plays gone. Goes across to Mullen. Out to Boyd again. His conjurer's touch tonight. It's terrific. It's tap on for first try for Tahu. Something to behold. Now Mullen. A kick out towards McManus. One-on-one with Utai. He lost it. It came to Taya.
On the last tackle,
and you're going to take a look to see who made the knock-on.
The contesting round.
Well, the ball did seem to spurt back towards Newcastle. Whether that was, if that's so, even if it was McManus, well, it might go Newcastle's way again, checking the onside. Might be Alex McKinnon. A bit of a problem with him, but I think McManus has pushed the ball forward first, and then Utai knocks it back towards Newcastle. Look again. Hopefully gets his hand to it. I think it's the right hand that pushes it forward. Utai's the one that propels it back towards the Newcastle players.
McManus never really had it securely in his grip. You couldn't make a case, I don't think, for Utai stripping it away from McManus. You'd think that would be a
I think
a garden variety knock-on against the Newcastle wing.
I think so. I think McManus has pushed the ball into the hands of Matt Utai, and I think that's the way our video referee will go.
Knock on, 20.
Rod Lawrence, the video referee, agreeing with
Time on, Hazy.
our summation of it. A little nervous for a moment there, but I think he got the call correct on that occasion. Danny Badiris back on the bench. Wouldn't mind betting you'll see the game out in that situation unless the Tigers go back-to-back here. No, well, the Tigers have gone for the optional restart from the 20 and found the line, but now the referees are going back to the 20.
Benji Marshall has been called offside from the kick.
Benji Marshall was in front of you as you kicked it from here. I went time on, then you kicked it. Benji Marshall's in front of you.
Oh, gee, that's an error, that.
Well, that's an error,
Yeah,
but
well,
why is that one?
Here's Benji Marshall out on the sideline.
He's definitely gone off early. But why is that a penalty against the Tigers? And when he was in front of the tap restart, not that long ago, they were given a second chance at it. They don't get a second chance there, so they need to clean up that discrepancy.
I'm sure they will, because it's wrong to get a second chance. That one was the correct decision. Benji offside for the Robbie Farah kick. Ryan with only, it must be a minute or so left. Maybe we come back on now.
And they took the kick to extend it to 16. Right in front, they were always going to take this one to make it 18. Roberts with the extra 2 once again. 32 points to 14. And they're minutes away from breaking this 5-game losing streak. Some sort of celebration as well. I dare say Willie Mason might be a big part of it.
Stay behind.
Well, very good on the back end of that first half, Willie. He didn't seem to get a huge break. He was very off the field for a short time in that opening 40 minutes. And all productive stuff. For the short kick-off, and Gagai was able to stand his mark and take it.
He'll play at about 25 short of the halfway line. Roberts goes across to Zeb Taylor. A bit of a knock with his first carry of the night. He was able to absorb that and has played his part in this particular game. They work it up to the halfway line. In fact, Taylor offloading there. Tedavano on the previous carry. Now Boyd going to stay alive. And they'll play it here just outside the 30. Costigan waiting at dummy half. Across the face there of Howson. Goes to Uwate. And they'll play it on the last again, just outside the Tigers 20. Roberts comes to McKinnon. He takes it to the line. In fact, the Newcastle Knights have one more tackle here. Here's Mullen. Wide ball for Tahu. What a spin! A pass. McManus is in. It's the Tamana Tahu show in Newcastle. Wheeling and dealing for his winger, James McManus there. That was beautiful to watch.
Well, haven't they had some success down this left side? Tamana Tahu, a great ball from Jared Mullen. Beautiful face ball. Just put him on the outside of Robbie Farah. Complete 360 Tamana Tahu to get himself away from that man, then set himself up, draws Matt Utai, puts McManus over unmarked, untouched. The bench go up. If ever the Knights needed a performance as it has been, gee whiz, it was now 5 straight losses, 1 win only here at Hunter Stadium. A lot of pressure on both the coach and the playing staff. They've been able to come up with a great performance, trailing 14-0. It has been shutout Tigers from that time on, the 25-minute mark.
Absolutely remarkable, the change in the shape of this game around about that point in the first half. Roberts on the sideline again. Got it on a string at the moment. He hooks it back once again. 38 straight points to Newcastle to lead by 24. This crowd, as we said, which built to a strong figure, 18,637. And most of them delighted to see the Knights break out of their slump. And you mentioned Wayne Bennett. Since round 13 last year, midway through his final season at the Dragons, Next 28 games, and Benitez won just 8 of them. He the leanest 25 stretch of his career before this game tonight. It's a real breakout game for the players and their coach this evening. And there's still time for one more. Capable of cracking the 40-point mark here. Here's Houston working it up towards the halfway line. He'll play it for Costigan. Comes to Roberts. Goes to Taya. To Tedovano. He'll play it here just outside the Tigers' 40-metre line. Last play this time. Costigan puts it back for Roberts. He puts some pressure here on Ryan, who left the ground from the field of play. Good call from the referees. He was headed towards the in goal, but didn't quite make it in time, and quite correctly was called to play on as Takiri is stopped just inside his own 20. Ryan going to Haines. Off the back of this effort, having lost last Sunday to the Roosters, back-to-back losses here for the Tigers. A campaign that was freewheeling along with 7 straight wins. Now has a bit of a question mark over it.
Robbie Farah just leaving the field. It didn't look like there was any problem injury-wise, but Tim Sheens is giving him a break. He has had one of the toughest weeks he's had to endure. The Tigers now sit only 2 points clear of 9th spot. Has been a break by the top 8, but back-to-back losses now. The Tigers sitting clinging to 8th spot.
Go on the attack here. Yosefa trying to create something there with Lawrence. And they're just inside the Knights' 30. They've had just one play inside the Newcastle 20-metre zone in this second half. Here's Haines playing it for Yosefa. Ashford coming to Marshall, holding it up. Murdoch-Masila hits the gap. He runs to Boyd, who makes a tackle 8 metres out from his own line. A penalty.
Send him away, Haines. Send him away.
No, it's not. I'm not arguing or debating that with you.
And Bo Ryan, who was sent to the sin bin in a similar situation, says, "Sir, it's got to go both ways, doesn't it?" He gets no joy. And the Tigers continue on with a quick tap.
Well, it's worth a question.
It was a close run thing. Woods playing it. I'll go from dummy half. It was Yosefa who's got across the line, in fact, to score. He got there. Well. And the Tigers grab one at the death.
Well, just a quick play the ball. Left the Knights vulnerable on their own line. Masada Yosefa, who was plying his trade for Mount Pritchard in the New South Wales Cup. Recent signing for the Tigers, able to get the ball across the line. Caught them napping. Wayne Bennett, well, I think he can forgive that one. After losing 5 straight, 78th and 79th minute, I think he can look past that.
I would have liked to have kept them scoreless in this second half. I won't achieve that, but as you say, it'll mean little tonight given the breakout performance this has been, scoring 6 tries, limiting the Tigers to just 3. And Marshall, to finish the game, gets the flags in the air. The Knights won't care about that. 38 points to 20. And the teams, 9th, 10th, 11th, the Warriors, the Dragons, the Titans, throw in the Raiders and the Roosters, if you like. And now the Knights move to 14 points. They're all cheering the fact that that gap between the top 8 and those chasing is still only 2 points at the end of round 16. The Knights have beaten the Tigers 38-20.
This has been a production of Fox Sports in partnership with the National Rugby League.